The suspect arrested for the rape and murder of 6-year-old Amantle Samane in Orlando, Soweto, is due to appear in court tomorrow. The man has been identified as Mozambican national Pethe Simiao. He was arrested earlier today, 3 days after Amantle's body was found. Nqobile Madlala has been following this story and joins us now. Nqobile, an emotional day for the family. How did the community assist the police in making this arrest? Because we heard from the police earlier saying that it was a joint effort between them and the eyewitnesses.
I think we would have to take it back to look at the sort of impacts that the community has played. From the get-go, we know that the person that discovered the body would be the landlord, and he and his brother-in-law went looking for people. But before that, there was a young person from a secondary school in the area that realized that there was something wrong, that the child had been missing and had been with this person for so long. And they decided then to go looking for the family. And at the same time, the family was looking not only alone, but with the community. So that's the first part on the first day. Then in the morning of the second day, you had the community distributing the pictures of the suspect, saying he's a potential person of interest. This is mainly after what had occurred. He lived in that area and they had found a body and he had gone missing. So they distributed pictures not only on the groups, but they also distributed those pictures in areas like ranks, so that anyone who sees him leaving the area, that they would be able to stop him. Further than that, we saw the communities identifying the people that he spends time with. So whether it was friends, whether it was family, whether it was someone who was close to him, or even people he worked for, they went and identified those people and they took them to the police. Later on, we found from the community again saying that they have suspected that the suspect had left the area. If you remember when we arrived there, they had said that the suspect had not left the area, The following day, we heard them saying, no, we know that he has left the area, but we know who he has been in contact with. And that's when they found the suspect's friend. And it became a bit tense, because at some point, others were pulling the direction of, let's get the information out, whilst others were saying, let's get the police. And that's when the police also came in to intervene. But that person became a key role, because they said, you know, you must know. They identified the girlfriend, they identified the mother of the suspect, they identified the friend of the suspect, and they even identified people around the suspect. So they basically gave as much information as possible to the police to be able to identify who are these people. But we later learned from the police that some of the friends were not linked to the case. But what they found is that they were illegally in the country, which also became a different case altogether. Now, that's something that the police are still investigating and looking into. But they were able to also get a passport, which was also used to identify this person. It was
circulated yesterday, yeah.
Correct. So the community has been there from the start, even with the parents. They've been with the parents all the way, assisting them however way. At some points, they even said they were going to have a meeting to assist with however way with the funeral. But they've been also there to console the family, to sort of give them hope. And I think what was interesting in all of this, Vuyo, is that you saw women in the forefront. It was mainly women in the forefront that were assisting this family. Some of them were linked in a sense that they were friends. Some of them were linked in the sense that they were in the CPF. So there was a lot of work that was done on the ground, and they were giving it to the police. And in some cases, I mean, you would see the community that it was splitting in half when they said all shops must be closed, and others decided to continue trading. And that became an issue. And we saw again that tense moment between the communities when they were saying to the people, close down, and others were saying, why did you open? But this is the information then and the collaboration that the SAPS is talking about, because the information continued to go into the police. And at some point, even Masondo goes on to say that there was a person that was identified at a clinic that looked like the suspect. But when the police rushed there, they found out that that wasn't the suspect. But just to bring it in, Vuyo, on the last day, we're hearing that even the community knew it had some intel that they gave to the police, whilst the police were also investigating on the ground to try and find the suspect.
And you did speak to members of the family today.
Yes, yes, we are a heartbreaking moment, really. I think the mother talking about how she had last seen her child playing, and to taking us to a moment when she was holding her and she had passed on. Yes, and she was trying to sort of speak to her and wake her up, and the child was not responding. And there were people also that came in and tried to resuscitate the child because they thought she had not passed away. She talks about how she saw that there were marks in the child's neck that showed what had occurred. But let's listen into the mother because she can tell that better.
I could relate to her moshimanyana o tshwere ke ne ke se sure because like ne ntse re utlwa di false news hore o tshwere but e rile ke bona snepe sa hae ke le ka thaba hore at least motho o bolele ngwanaka o tsholagetse even though ngwanaka never a sa gutla mo lemela but moshimanyana o tshwere ntho e nkwatisang go hore mmuso wa rona maponesa a rona a re faila South Africa la tlhagetso ke bala ba bangata mara batho ba teng ba tsamaya mo strateng. And I hope hore ka Amantle justice o tlo ithola moshimanyana o tlo tshwarwa go ya ka nna ke batla le hore de pele a se ka ithola wa bona le ge a ka thola a life sentence nka thaba le ge ngwana ka never ka sa tlhola ke mmona but yena o tla ba le ko tronkong a tswaletswe mo apilong ang ko teng because a apilong le batho ke a monster.
Quick one before I let you go. The police are saying they have now also opened a case against the landlord, where of the owner of the house where the suspect was renting.
Yeah, we do understand that, but also they're explaining that the landlord has also become a witness because they were also the people that were first on the scene, but also they've got information that they've been given to the police with regards to trying to find the suspect. You will remember that when they circulated the passports, that again comes from the landlord. But we know that the police are saying that even if you are basically renting out, letting your place to someone, you need to ensure that you have the right documentation. And at this point, it looks like they were harboring someone who was illegally in the country. But of course, we'll hear more tomorrow when the suspect appears before court.